All right, I'm now being joined by Colonel Hassan Stanlabo, who is a retired military officer and a security consultant, to continue this discussion. Colonel, thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
Just give me your own take on this amnesty offer now for Boko Haram. Seems to be generating so much controversy. I can understand emotions are involved and all of that, but what's your own take?
Thank you, DEJI. I think the amnesty thing should be welcomed by everybody. Let's call it spade a spade. At the national level, we all look forward to stopping this bloodletting, the ongoing bloodletting. Okay, and I want to just say here that look, the pronouncement of an amnesty would create a good condition for us to move into a truce with these insurgents. A truce will create yet an opportunity for us to probably go into talks, roundtable talks with them. A roundtable talks that could, of course, lead to a complete halt of hostilities.
So we cannot fight our way out of this insurgency?
We can fight our way out, but the issue is, must you fight your way out? You are fighting your way out at a cost. And what is the cost? More bloodletting, your citizens are dying, more sufferings in the northeast, and so on. So it is only a wise idea or wise counsel will tell you that, look, if there is an opportunity to sit and talk with them, why not opt for it? But well, of course, if you allow your ego to want to play on you, you say, look, move in the military and let's fight it out. We've been fighting out for quite some years now.
For close to 10 years.
Yes. I hope you know, when we say fighting out, you are fighting terrorists. If you can pronounce an amnesty and it leads you into a halt by way of truce, which brings you all to the negotiating table to say, look, enough is enough. We have what it takes to face you. But can we say enough is enough? Because your own citizens are suffering.
And most wars have always ended at the negotiation table. Anyway.
Besides, yes, and besides, it avails you another opportunity. Hope you know you still have 80-something girls with them.
Absolutely. 113 actually,
yes,
girls. Yeah.
Very good. Besides some other individuals. It gives you an opportunity to negotiate now, getting back all your citizens that are with them in one whole swap and alive.
So basically what you're saying is that no price should be too high to pay for peace.
No price, my brother. No price, not even our ego. Come on, we are talking about human lives here. We are talking about human lives. It's just like when you see a lot of our citizens, though born out of ignorance anyway, keep insisting that government should reveal to them how much was actually expended in getting back these girls and so on. And the question I keep asking is that what could be too high to part with and get back your citizens alive? I'm asking that because to me it's a non-issue. As a government, we have mandated you to protect lives and property. So you go get out these girls for us. And the government is doing just that. Must the government come back and start telling you how much is spent? What if part of the terms and conditions for the discussion was that you don't reveal what you are parting to us? So the government should break that and risk the lives of other detainees that are still with them? And let's
But I also want you to look at it from this angle.
Yes.
What would you say, for instance, and you can understand why for some people, emotions are involved here. People have been killed. People have lost loved ones. I mean, look at the carnage you have in the northeast. People have suffered immensely. And for some of these people, they know those who are responsible. And now you say you offer them amnesty. It might be difficult for some of these people to deal with that.
So what is the option? Go ahead with the fighting? Kill more people? Lost more people? More carnage? We don't have an option. The only option is to go the direction in which we are now saying. Now go ahead, continue killing. moving the tanks, air power moving, keep damaging. At the end of the day, you will still sit down, like we are saying, to talk. And maybe by that time, your air action may have even killed some of the individuals whom you would have gotten back alive. Do we know where our girls are as we speak? Are they in Niger Republic, or in Cameroon, or in Chad, or within the fringes of our of the northeast? Let's allow some wisdom to prevail. You don't allow your emotions at times to drive your line of thought. I think maturity, like our parents will always tell us when we were growing as young men.
Another question.
Keep your emotions aside and reason.
The government has always maintained for quite a while now that it has at least technically defeated Boko Haram. And the question is, if you've defeated Boko Haram, why then are you negotiating with them?
We are talking terrorism here. Fine, we have defeated Boko Haram if we want to go along that line of thought. But have you collected your girls from Boko Haram? Have you been able to get back all those who have been taken PWs by Boko Haram?
And the insurgents are still striking.
And the insurgents are, so you just have to allow some wisdom to prevail. We need those girls. They are in huge number, 100 and something.
And apart from the girls, we need to stop the bloodletting.
We need to stop the bloodletting. People will continue to die. Why? Because we want to say, no, this is government. We cannot negotiate with terrorists. We have to move in and crush them. Fine. But at a cost. Human lives, and so on. As we speak right now, the northeastern part of this country is in complete shambles.
Absolutely.
When we are done, do you know what it's going to cost us to rebuild back the north? As a nation? What's the price of oil? Or besides, what is even the value of oil now in the international economic sense? It's going down every day. Because the use of oil itself is ready. So we must allow wisdom to prevail, my brother. We must allow wisdom to prevail. Our agri sector is not developed yet.
And that
if we are looking for replacements for oil
for the country,
what do we have in the north central? The mining sector is not developed yet. We know we have tremendous amount of minerals underneath the ground, but have we developed our mining sector? So what do we have that can replace oil? Practically zero. We are just trying to build on them. So you must think. You are thinking about a nation. You are not thinking about how to take care of a home. A country. You are thinking for generations. We must not allow our children to grow up and begin to ask us some of these questions, but why did you not think in this way?
One of the challenges that some people have identified is the government, of course, has announced this offer, and we know the government has said it is in talks, but in talks with just one of the factions of Boko Haram. You still have that faction of Abubakar Shekau that many have said is not willing to talk. How difficult do you think it will be for the government to strike a deal with, all the sides? Because if all the sides are not coming to the negotiation table, that would be difficult.
It will not be easy. It will really be difficult, but we must keep trying, and that is where we should also be able to bring in some diplomacy to play. Okay? Reach out to some international platforms or bodies that will be able to intervene on your behalf. Platforms or international organizations which the insurgents may want to welcome and talk with them. The Red Cross is there to assist you. And some other platforms like that they can sit and talk with these guys on your behalf, say things which ordinarily, if you are telling them, they wouldn't want to give you any hearing. And then before you know what, they could bridge the gap between you and them and be able to either bring all factions on same table or create an atmosphere where you could discuss with the various factions in piecemeal and still be able to achieve your objective as a nation, getting back your girls, stopping the ongoing carnage and hostilities, and what have you. It will not be difficult. I mean, it's not an easy task. We must accept that. But we must pick on it with some bold, moves, all right? And be able to exploit whatever opportunities that exist out there by virtue of diplomacy.
Okay, let's discuss something related now. I'm talking about the recent approval given by the president now, $1 billion for the purchase of military equipment and, of course, including training and all of that, generating quite a lot of controversy as well. That's quite understandable because of the experience we had in the past. I mean, similar funds, under the previous government was approved, but the money eventually got misappropriated. This now generating controversy. Politics is crept into it. You have the opposition party now saying the money is to be used for elections, even though what I find funny about the whole thing is that this approval was given by both the PDP and APC governors. I mean, since the money is coming from the excess crude account, so the governors, the National Council of State Economic Council now actually approved that. But it's generating so much controversy.
Yeah, of course, it will generate controversy for reasons you have already spelled out, looking at our immediate past and the way monies, were released for same purpose and how it ended up.
Because of the quantum of money involved here, $1 billion.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. And the way the one ended up in the last dispensation. One would always want to say, look, allow them to express themselves. They have a reason to be doing that. But let's not allow that to blur our sense of reasoning about whether there is a need really for this money or not. There are lots of, I would say, procurement challenges with procurement deficits on ground, which we need to address within the military. Okay, there is a need, or this money will go to facilitate additional training for the men. You can never be trained enough, except at a point age makes you give way for younger ones to come on board. But training as a human being, you keep training and acquiring more knowledge. It will avail opportunities for training for the military. It will avail us an opportunity, like I did say, in bridging existing gap in our procurement deficits. It would avail us the opportunity of what's it called now? Oh my God!
Procuring weapons and all of that.
Yes.
Surveillance.
The platforms we have, be them combat maritime platforms, which are very expensive. In fact, when you start looking at submarines, you know what we're talking about. Do not forget, when we talk about the air component platforms, the U.S. granted us approved the sale of 12 Alpha 29 Tucados. Each one is going for about $50 million. So the 12 will be costing us how much? That's about $600 million. About $600 million. You look at the land components, all the tanks we are talking about, the modern tanks that come with additional sensitivities, sensors and so on, they cost money. The problem, or I would say the disadvantage,
$1 billion may not even be.
When you speak from an informed professional perspective, you know that, look, the $1 billion is no big deal when you are talking about defense, my brother. It's no big deal because nearly every single pin in defense is imported.
Absolutely.
It's imported. We're not talking about building equipment for Ministry of Housing here. We're talking about defense. And that's why at times people have even shifted the ignorance to the point where they ask government to, list out what you want to buy. So no country displays its inventory to the world. They are classified material. And even when you go shopping, it is the guy who is selling to you that knows what he has sold to you. In most cases, you don't even allow your neighbors to know. Because I tell you this, when we are preparing for war, as a nation, when your military is preparing for war, amongst other things, you compare what your opponent has in its inventory. And that is when you are able to say, air superiority, we have it against them. How do you know you have it against them? Because you have an idea what's in their inventory as far as their air component is concerned. Maritime. Do you have maritime superiority over them? Or they have better ships and better, submarines than you? This is it. These are the things that are going to inform the way you plan. So you don't just open your inventory. These are national security issues. But out of ignorance and in the name of democracy, because here we've turned it to something else, people will start asking all sorts of questions, and at times, as a professional, you just smile. Go to the hospital and ask a doctor, what do you have in your storehouse? Fine. But you don't start asking the Minister of Defense, what do we have there? You want me to tell you about the underground hangars, where your jets are, and then I tell you all the sort of jets there? Oh, Jesus Christ. These are classified material. Even as a citizen, you don't have a right to know. Because the need to know comes into play. You see them only when they fly out, and they go back into the hangars. Simple. All right? It's important to bear this in mind. Then, DG, let's look at the other aspect of it. Nobody has said this money or christened this money to be Northeast security funding. It is meant for the entire military. Good. So you look at the role the military plays. Within the UN system, I hope you know we are about the third or fourth largest troops contributing country.
Yeah, sure.
Good. And if you understand the way the UN system works, you fund your entire operations. That is to say, the vehicles you use, the equipment, your country provides them. I'm very sure a lot of our citizens are not aware of this. You provide them. Your country provides them. At the end of the day, the UN does some compensation to you. However, somebody might say, then if that is the case, why are we pushing? You gain a lot from participating from these operations because you expose your men. Yeah. And they acquire a lot. I tell a lot of people that 60% of what I today can boast of professionally, I acquired from international operations, including confidence. Because I eventually got to realize that, oh, I'm even better off than the American officer. If the American officer is a signaler, that is a communications officer, that is all he knows. And he's a specialist on that. While in the case of a Nigerian officer, you are exposed to nearly everything in the course of your cadetship training. And even as you come into the field. Okay? So, when you find yourself in such operations, in most cases, you find that in theater of operations, a lot of officers from other countries look up to the Nigerian officer. Because they see him like somebody who, wow, how come he knows this, he knows that, he knows that, he knows that. He knows a little bit of mechanics. He can go in there, help fix find a fault from the vehicle. You bring he's an infantry officer. He pick your communication gadgets and speak the communication language. You'll be wondering, are you a communications officer? Are you a mechanic? Are you an engineer? He knows little of nearly everything to complement his own actual field of specialization. That's what makes us stick out there. And that's why you see that we win so much laurels when we go out, even on training. Best foreign student, Nigeria. Best African student, Nigeria. You keep mentioning it. Because of the sort of training we've had. Okay? Now, look at the role we play in ECOWAS, in AU, and so on. I hope we do understand that in most cases, when issues are being resolved and decisions taken, that, okay, let's send troops to so-so like area of hostility and so on.
The Gambia.
The attention at the end of the day turns to Nigeria to send the troops, where it costs money. In most cases, especially within the ECOWAS organization, when there is an issue, the entire air component is always provided by Nigeria to start with. In most cases, the maritime component is provided by Nigeria. Look at the last situation in Gambia. When our warship moved immediately to the waterways, and, that was, or that is what we call what's it called now? You're positioning yourself there, sends a signal to the man that I'm waiting for you to do what I've told you to do. So you display your force. That's what the Americans will do to a lot of countries. Haven't told you what they want. Their MiG fighters will fly over you. That lets you know we are waiting for you. The bottom line of all I'm saying is that you need a strong and virile defense to be able to not only meet all this, but also project your foreign policy as a nation. You cannot be said to be a power within the sub-region and you lack a strong military. Then you are not a power. And if you take into consideration our size, by way of population, our size, by land mass, you will agree with me that the Nigerian military should be able to take on, okay, a task in about 3-4 different fronts at the same time. Right. We should be ensuring democracy is protected in the Gambia, and at the same time pursuing Boko Haram in the northeast, taking care of militants in the south, and so on. That's what makes you a power within the region. We are not discussing Togo or Benin Republic here. Those ones don't even need an army. Those are mere local governments in Nigeria. They don't need an army, just have a sound police. But when we are talking about Nigeria, we are talking about a power.
Well, let's just hope. The most important thing is let's just hope the money is judiciously
that should be it.
Used.
That's what we should do. Government.
We don't have a situation like we had
in the last dispensation. Yes. Yes. Because that's what we should hold government to. And I can assure you, my brother, that given the sort of political leadership we have at the head, and I'm referring to Mr. President, whose integrity we can all vouch for, even though we cannot vouch for the integrity of those around him, at least we know the leader. That you can accuse him of anything, being slow, whatever, but you can't accuse him of picking a single kobo from our collective patrimony. He is that clean. We expect him to bring such to bear in ensuring that this money goes into where it should go. And I can assure you, I think he's got what it takes to ensure.
Because if the money doesn't go, I mean, our troops will even suffer at the end of the day.
Yes. We have a problem with manpower, both with the police
Absolutely.
And with the military. This problem has persisted all this while because we lack the financial clout to be able to give a vent to our manpower generation initiative or efforts on ground. If the police had been well equipped, well funded, given the requisite manpower it requires, going by UN standard, there are areas where we deploy the military on internal security where we wouldn't have deployed the military, the police would have gone ahead.
I mean, you would have expected the police, for instance, to be able to deal with headers, farmers' crisis. Yeah.
Now, in the military, too, we have the same manpower issue. Going by global practice, every nation's armed forces should constitute 1% of your entire population. That is to say, put our three armed forces together, put our three forces together, Army, Air Force, Navy, we should be having a strength of about 1.8 million on ground.
We don't have that. No.
We don't have that. And that's why we have problems of manpower everywhere. Now, can we look into our reserve force, short-term solution now, into addressing some of our manpower
issues? Do we have
issues?
a reserve force?
Of course. When we say reserve, what do we mean by reserve? Veterans like us. Okay. What else are reserves?
Okay.
It's only that you now get them organized into a reserve force and so on. The able-bodied ones, not people like us who are putting on so much weight. You know, the able-bodied ones who can still...
and there are quite a number.
Yeah, there's just so many. I'm looking at the ordinary soldiers, in fact, not even the officers. There are just so many. In the interim, we could get some of them. Because let's face it, their pension income is so small that it does not pick their bills on a monthly basis. And they are all out there looking for how they can get one or two things to supplement their pension. We are in the field, we know what's happening, and we know how they come to us looking for job in our companies and so on. So the point I'm making is this: we could get some of these chaps, okay, put them together. They could play a role in the notice. And what is the role we can spell out for them? RAP, Rear Area Protection. When, for instance, like what happened over the Dapchi thing, when those soldiers were cleared off and so, your reserves would have moved in and played the rear area protection role. we should be looking at options as this in the short term. While in the medium and long term, we talk about manpower generation by way of recruitment, selection, recruitment, and training, which will take about 6-9 months before they come out of their depot, and so on. We have a huge chunk of reserve, or within the veteran cycle, where we can really recruit some of these guys. It doesn't cost us much. Okay? We could be looking at solutions
that's
as
a strong
this.
point.
We could be looking at solutions as this.
Because these are very experienced men.
Yes, they only require so much training to be launched again into battle. 2-3 weeks is okay, just shake them off and so on. If I get into a trench today, I know what to do.
Yeah.
But for my rate and whether would he want to go and so on, definitely some of us wouldn't want to go, because to me it's a big distraction from my personal intentions, except if the nation insists that some of us come on board. But the point I'm making is that in the interest of the country, we have boys who can come on board. Can we just get them on board, please? And they would happily come in.
Colonel, thank you very much for coming on the program. As always, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us. Well, that's it on the program, but if you want to watch it again, it's simple. Just go to our website, www.tv360nigeria.com. You'll find this program and lots more there. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/TV360 Nigeria. Do subscribe now to get the latest videos and updates of things happening around the country. You can join us as well on Google+. That's at TV360 Nigeria. Or like us on Facebook. The address is facebook.com/TV360 online. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our handle is at TV360 Nigeria. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next week.